What was something that you thought was normal, but turned out to be really bad? My wife was the laziest person I knew, and she even considered herself a burden. She couldn't even bother getting out of bed and even took her Zoom calls there. She said ordering out was easier than cooking and gained weight because of it. And she never dressed up because no one is going to see her anyway. She couldn't even find the energy to do anything, and her weight gain stopped her from feeling confident in her own skin. As a result, we stopped doing what we both loved, sleeping with each other. My wife was pretty adventurous when it came to being active. She thought the bedroom was the most boring place to sleep with each other and would ask me if she could go down on me in public. So we'd often do it in the library, in parking lots, or at the movies. I miss that part of her, but it felt like I would never get that back. Though I still found my wife incredibly attractive and I could take her anywhere at any time, I still didn't want to sleep with someone who hadn't showered in a week. As for any dates I wanted to take her on, she'd either tell me she wasn't in the mood, or that she was rewatching How I Met Your Mother and Robin just found out about the Robin, so she couldn't go anywhere until she finished watching the show. But after a month and a half of lazing around and gaining weight, my wife told me the truth. It happened when I asked her out to dinner at the restaurant where we had our first date. I figured going there would restart our spark because my wife didn't even let me hug her anymore. But before I knew it, she broke down sobbing that she hated how she looked, and that's why we didn't get physical anymore and why she never wanted to go out. She didn't want anyone to see her as she was now because she was ashamed that she let it get this bad. For reference, my wife gained 20 pounds. I held her all night and reassured her that she was still beautiful, and if she wanted to lose weight, I would help her throughout her journey. When she told me that losing weight sounded exhausting, I knew she wasn't going to put in the work to lose those pounds. So, I came up with a plan so that she could lose weight and gain confidence, and we could go back to being freaky everywhere. It started off with small things like cooking healthier versions of her favorite fast food places and disguising them for junk food. I also didn't buy any juices or sodas when I went grocery shopping because I wanted her to drink more water. And I stopped buying junk food, so whenever she was craving something unhealthy, I would just whip up a fruit salad and she'd eat it every time. I could tell it was all adding up because she seemed a bit more willing to do anything. I even caught her showering, and when she came out of the bathroom with wet hair and a towel wrapped around her body, she looked like a goddess. I could tell she still didn't feel confident enough to sleep with me, otherwise she would have made a move by now. So I looked online for a faster solution. That's when I found out that cleansing her gut could help her lose weight, because the average person has nearly 7 pounds of crap stuck in them. The idea was that if I got her a detox, her body would cleanse itself faster, and allow her to be able to stick to a healthier lifestyle. And then she would look even better than she used to. So, I made her hop on a 14-day colon breeze, and reminded her all the reasons we were taking this step together. She was a bit hesitant but eventually agreed because she also hoped it would help her feel better, and just be a better girlfriend to me. She took 2 capsules as instructed, and though it seemed like nothing happened, she fully experienced the symptoms a day later. She woke up needing to crap, and for an hour straight, she was fighting for her life in the bathroom. She was grunting, wailing in pain, and afterwards I heard a loud shriek. When I went to check on her, she told me that she saw worms in the toilet, and that they came out of her backside. She was sure of it. I did a Google search to find out why this happened, and was shocked when I read that 60 million Americans have parasites in their stomachs, and my wife was clearly one of them. I tried not to freak out and just see the positive side of this. I told her that the 14-day colon breeze had already started working because those worms were in her for God knows how long. I explained that she should keep taking the pills because there could still be more in her, and I reminded her of the problems her bad gut health was causing her, like her lack of energy. She agreed, so the next day she took 2 pills like I told her to. She was on the toilet for an hour again the next day, and she found the worms in there again. I was worried she would get discouraged at this, but she shocked me when she willingly took 2 capsules afterwards. When she saw me looking at her weird, she said she noticed she wasn't feeling her usual excessive bloating, so the colon breeze must have been doing more than making her crap. It was true. Usually after eating, her stomach felt like it was full of gas and she wasn't anywhere near popping, but it wasn't anymore. On the 4th day of taking the 14-day colon breeze, she didn't spend a long time in the bathroom, and she excitedly told me she didn't have the worms anymore. So far, the colon breeze had cleansed her of any worms in her gut and stopped her bloating, and her jumping into my arms excitedly was the most action I had gotten, and the most emotion she's portrayed besides being outright depressed. After dropping multiple deuces, she weighed herself and was happy to see she had dropped a couple of pounds. When the 10th day rolled around, I saw her sporting gym wear, and she told me she was going for a run. She hadn't been out of the house in months, but there she was, being lighter on her feet, being newly energized, and going on a run. I loved watching her progress and seeing how happy my wife was now. I didn't even need to cook healthy meals of her junk food to keep her satisfied. She was back to eating anything I cooked, and she was regaining her confidence because the gym wear was the first time I've seen her not wearing sweatpants and oversized shirts. And if I thought that was wonderful, later that day she wore a dress. She told me she was glowing, so she had to show off her beautiful body. All I wanted was to F the dress off of her, but I didn't want to push. On the 12th day, she woke up early and cooked a huge breakfast, like the ones you see in TV shows. It was unexpected, but we shared a meal together and talked nonstop. I even found her admiring her body in the mirror because she was so much thinner than before. On the last day of taking the 14-day colon breeze, she told me she had dropped another 2 pounds because she kept exercising, eating right, and most importantly cleansing her gut. She told me she felt like she was a new woman. I realized that things weren't just back to normal, they were even better than before. Her physical and mental health hasn't been this good in ages. And yes, I got what I initially craved, and my wife said she felt powerful sitting on my face.